Okay, so I've been looking up how to edit and how to make funny videos and shit like that, but I haven't decided if that's gonna be my niche or whatever the fuck they call that. I just want to be real, man. I just want to be transparent and talk about my life, really. I mean, if it comes to the point where I have to do like reaction videos and things like that, cool. But for right now, I just really want to kind of share my life experiences, even if this just becomes a diary and it's just me talking to me, you know. I am going to start cleaning up my vocabulary as far as my language and cursing and stuff, because I've noticed that I've cursed a little bit more than I would like in the last video, especially when I am actually very articulate and I can, I can speak well. So there's no need for me to curse as much as I did. So I'm going to attempt to be a little bit more conscious about the words that I use. Anyway, with that said, this will be another story time. About probably the worst life experience that I had, and it came at a very young age. Came when I was about 3.5, 4 years old. Okay, so originally I am from Chicago, Illinois. Okay, now when I was about 4 years old, I have four other sisters. I have four sisters, all of them older. I'm the youngest. And in about 1990, when I was 4 years old, a man by the name of Raphael, he was a friend of my mother, my biological mother, because I was actually raised in foster care. That's another story, though. So when I was 4 years old, my mother sent me and my sister on an adventure with him. Just let him take us somewhere. Now, he had took us to the park. He had took us to like some other little places around the city. And then he took us to, had to be like a relative of his house. And he fed us there and let us play and hang out until it got a little bit dark. It was coming upon the evening. And I remember this very distinctly because it traumatized me, right? And he took us to a bus stop, and we were supposed, because we were taking the bus this whole time. We were taking the bus throughout the city this whole time. And he took us to the bus stop, and we're sitting there maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And then he says, now this is a grown man. I mean, he had to be 20s, 30s. That's, if you wonder what that sound is, it's my petty little dog over there destroying something. So anyway, he takes us and he leaves us on this bus stop, essentially. So he says, hey, I'm going to go back to that house that we were just at, and I need to grab something. And he leaves a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old on a bus stop. And we're sitting there waiting for him. And we're waiting. And the sun starts to go from east to west, right? Which means that the sun is going down. And it gets darker and darker. And I'm a 4-year-old kid. So when it becomes pitch black, I remember crying and my sister consoling me. And I remember thinking, as a kid, as a 4-year-old kid, what the heck is going on? We've been sitting on this bus stop for hours. Now, across the street from where we were at was a horse stable. Now, this is in Chicago, so why they had a horse stable there, I really don't know. I mean, they do like carriage rides in certain parts of Chicago, but there was a horse stable there. And I remember this white lady, very thin built, coming across the street from hearing us crying. And she was like, are you guys okay? Are you okay? And she convinces us to come over to where the horse stable is across the street. And there was this basket of muffins that they were feeding the horses. And she gave a few to us. It's crazy, man. She gave a few to us, and I remember eating them thinking they were They tasted a little bit like sand, like something was on them, some dirt or something. But I still ate them because I was hungry, right? And when I think about this story, I kind of get lost for words just because it's horrible, but I don't really know what to make of it. It was just one of those things that, who goes through that at 4 years old? So my sister, being 4 years older than me, at 8 she knew how to recite our address and things like that. So when the people in the horse stable called the police, she was able to tell them where we lived. And they come to where we live, they knock on the door, and they say, hey, your kid was here and here, and we don't, and they just gave her back to my mom. They just gave me and my sister back to my mother. Didn't really ask any questions, just, here your kid's back. And maybe 6 months later, my mother calls some people up that she knows, and they come and pick us up, and they take us from Chicago to a little small town in another state. And after about a week or so, she leaves us there. She just leaves us again. Now, this is why that part is important, and I shared that part. Because as I got older, I realized that the man who left us on the park bench, he left us because she instructed him to leave us. And that kind of messed up. That's real messed up. That's my first real memory, man. The only memory I have that's further back than that one is one when I was 3. And it was my first time eating cereal. But she instructed a man to leave 2 of her children on a bus stop because she couldn't take care of them. Now, there's other factors that play into this. Like, my mother was a severe crack addict. Like, crack cocaine was that, and a history of mental illness. She had 4 children that she couldn't take care of. She was entering her 40s, or very close to her 40s, and she had done nothing with her life. So she figured she would be better off dumping her kids on the system. Did not fare well for us. Not even a little bit, really. Other than the fact that we're still alive and none of us are incarcerated, things like that. But just getting back to the story. She was a severe drug addict with mental illnesses. And as I got older and I started to piece these things together, I learned not to hate my mom, not to hate my biological mother. I learned that she got a hold of something, they got a hold of her, and it wouldn't loosen its grip. And she had to let go of something, and she chose to let go of us versus letting go of it because it had a hold on her that we didn't. And, you don't get sad about it, you don't get mad about it, you accept it for what it is. Because the truth is, I'm still experiencing life. I'm still going through the transitions of life. I'm still here. I'm still alive and breathing and well. I have a beautiful son, and I'm living a life that I am okay with. It could be better, right? We can always have more and all of that, but I'm not addicted to drugs. I'm not in any type of health issue. So life is good, man. But I'm sharing that story because I want you to know, if you're a person who's watching this, that there's someone out here just like you who has went through something just like you and is telling you that don't let that be your handicap. Don't let it be your crutch. Because if you're a younger person, I'm telling you now that if you make that your handicap, if you make that your crutch, you'll be where I'm at. And like I said, I'm okay, but I'm definitely jaded when it comes to life. I know what my potential was, and I know that I did not meet it. And I'm working to reverse that, but I'm fighting time at this point. So get out of your own way and don't let that past, the fact that you didn't get a head start in life, or not even a head start, you didn't even get a fair shake. Don't let these things hold you back, because what the hand that I was dealt, somebody else is winning with it. And that could be the same with you. So get out of your own way. Let the past be the past. Learn from the past. Respect the past for what it can teach you. Because a lot of people say just to throw away the past completely. And I don't live by that philosophy. But you don't want to dwell in it, because it will consume you. Okay? Because you'll start questioning it. What you could have done in this situation and that. And then after you start questioning it in that way, you'll attempt to relive it over and over in your head. Anyway, this is getting too long, and my dog is starting to wander in other people's yards. Rook, come back. So I'm just trying to put some words of encouragement. And on top of that, stick to my word, which was that I'm going to put out a video every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and hopefully you guys start watching. And if you don't, this will just be my diary. Anyway, this is me signing off. War and Peace. You guys have a great day, and hopefully I'll see you Monday.